Hey guys, welcome. Welcome aboard if you're brand new. Welcome back if you are not. And welcome home if that sits perfectly for you today. Let's talk about what's up. This is the week of the 14th of July through the 20th, 2025. We are in the thick of retrograde season, and let's get busy. We start Monday with a Pisces moon trining Jupiter, squaring Venus, quincunxing Mercury, and opposing Mars. Monday is an absolutely beautiful day to be slow, to be in the moment. Do not rush your day. Do not hurry. Take life easy, as my dad used to say. If you start the day knowing that your broader expansion and expression will be a little bit challenged, just see if you can't narrow your focus, right? Try home projects. And yes, I am talking about the Venus sense of home. So things that are sensory and immediate to your actual life. Dive into yourself and your own expansion. And I would actually say do this in quiet ways, right? The results might surprise you, right? Like this is not splashing a photo shoot on Facebook kind of, look, I cleaned out my closet. No, no, no. Just do what you want to do and be done with it, right? On Tuesday, that Pisces moon trines the Cancer sun, and then at 11:30 p.m. Central Time, the moon moves into Aries. So for the most part of this day, on Tuesday, we have a Pisces moon. So your intuition is going to be very loud. I would advise you to listen. Your Now here's the deal. Your self-construction can benefit from your inner work. So don't ignore any of the messages or instinctual awarenesses that you've been having recently, right? In this expanded state that we've been in. While Tuesday is not a day for action, it is a great day for vision. So let's say it this way, put your inner sights to use, right? Really focus on those visions. Um, yeah, yeah. You understand me. You get me. I know you do. I know you do. On Wednesday, the Aries moon. Wednesday is actually a really great day. The Aries moon sextiles Uranus, which is now in Gemini, conjunct Saturn and Neptune, right, which are conjunct in Aries, both in retrograde, and sextiles Pluto, which is in retrograde in Aquarius, and then squares Jupiter, but also sextiles Gemini. So that moon is really cozying up to all of the retrograding planets. So expect some big feelings, expect some deep motivations. It's a pretty clear day, really ripe with the power of planning and potential. So draft some action steps, right? This is an Aries moon. Don't get too far ahead of yourself, however, right? We do have that square to Jupiter. So don't overpromise in the concern that you may end up under delivering, right? So uh, think global, yes, but act local. On Thursday, the 17th, that Aries moon will trine Mercury, quincunx Mars, square the sun, and conjunct Chiron. And then at 11:45 p.m. Central Time, Mercury turns retrograde at 15 degrees Leo, where he will stay, by the way, until August 11th. Okay, so it is a more challenging day on Thursday. Um, when those drafted plans get to come into the light, right? So all these plans we've been working on kind of come into the light. I would recommend enlisting another set of eyes to come and do a little proofreading for you. You may be missing something that's pretty simply reparable or changeable or editable. So before that day turns, right, before we end that day, like I said, at 11:45, Mercury turns retrograde. Now, what we know, first of all, this is Mercury retrograde in Leo. So I will say to you, be aware, right? Be aware that this is Leo. So this is about you. But Mercury retrograde is the time when we are enacting our check, check, triple check, right? And please do not listen to the people who tell you not to buy anything, do anything, get your car fixed, buy a new computer, anything like that. Um, the key to Mercury retrograde is simply to make sure that you have dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's. Life must go on even under a Mercury retrograde. Just pay a little bit more attention. How about that? Um, on Friday, the 18th, the moon moves into Taurus very early in the day. That Taurus moon will square retrograding Pluto, and then Mercury in retrograde sextiles Venus, and the moon sextiles Jupiter. This, again, Mercury retrograde in Leo. We are not doing impulse changes, right? Not in the what you see, not in your surroundings, not in your appearance. What I mean by that is we are not doing impulse haircuts. We are not getting bangs. We are not painting the room or pulling up the carpeting or the floors, right? This is not the time for any impulsive changes or impulsive buys. Um, Give that Taurus moon her due, right? And just stay home on Thursday. Um, let whatever ideas you have, put them in the hopper. Let them brew for a while and see where that takes you, right? Exercise some self control. Um, it might save you from some long term unpleasant consequences. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. On Saturday, the 19th, that Taurus moon will square retrograding Mercury. The Cancer sun squares Chiron, and the moon will trine Mars. The way that you choose your highest and best narrative is the thing that shifts your reality, especially right now, like this time of July, right? Pay attention, consciously pause. And what I mean by this is when you're telling a story, when you're thinking a thing, when you confront a habitual behavior, work yourself into a state where you automatically pause. Just pause, right? Um, so catch yourself in a story, catch yourself in that behavior, and delve into the why. Where did this come from? Why do I do this? Why do I do this in this manner? And don't sugarcoat your answers. The potential for real life shifts and changes, the potential for earth changing, reality changing awareness is so predominant and prevalent and close. Resist the urge to back away from that, right? This is really important that we be aware of our patterns honestly, right? Honest self exploration is a very real thing, especially right now. Uh, and on Sunday, the 20th, that Taurus moon is going to sextile the sun. The moon moves into Gemini at 5:22 in the morning Central Time. That Gemini moon is going to conjunct Uranus, of course, sextile the duo of Saturn and Neptune, and trine Pluto. This, like I said, this time, but on Sunday, this is a day of destiny, of healing, of transformation, right? Your openness to that sense of infinite potential is really right here. If you can be in that here and now, um, there is no room for self doubt, right? Don't let this Gemini moon bring you into that nonsensical, self deprecating, doubting everything energy. Absolutely not. Catch yourself every time you think, no, and turn that into an and or a yet, right? You are your only limitation. So get unleashed, right? The clarity that you have right now, the access you have to clarity is absolutely off the charts. Your compassion for leaning in, for dedication to what you find there is unprecedented. So give this energy now, mid July, all you've got, and do not be surprised when you get all of that right back, right? I will say all of the things that you're giving out is what you're going to get back. So be just be really, really mindful of it. Be really present with it. Okay. On Monday, we have the Four of Swords and the Queen of Cups. We talked about this as this day to be slow, not hurrying, right? Four of Swords absolutely validates that. To be in your own vision, right? Stay quiet. Make sure that you are narrowing your focus and keeping it to your sense of home. What do you find in your heart, right? How have you learned how to take care of your heart? So pay attention and put those things into action on your own behalf. On Tuesday, Ten of Pentacles in the world. How beautiful, right? So this is that day that we talked about really not ignoring your instincts. What comes into your awareness, right? What have you learned in your process? And how is it increasing your capacity for wealth and abundance in the broadest sense, for stability and security in the biggest sense, right? Put your inner visions into action when it comes to creating more in your vision, right? Let this lead you because it will. It absolutely will, right? On Wednesday, the King of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. We talked about this day as being very clear, right? Absolutely. And drafting our action steps, right? This behavior, these things that we want to do, this way we want to go, right? The Ace of Wands can indicate our trajectory. And the King of Pentacles says, oh, we've got this. We've got this, right? The key, remember, don't think too far ahead of yourself. We are not over promising, right? The one challenged aspect to that Aries moon is the square to Jupiter. So don't overpromise. Make sure that you understand that you have the resources as long as you're working in line with your passion, not your impulse. There's a difference. On Thursday, we have the Knight of Cups and the Hanged Man. Absolutely beautiful energy. This is that day where things become a little bit more challenging, right? Yeah, I'm trying to get it there. Trying to get it to focus, guys. Anyway, get another set of eyes, right? You need a little bit of shift in perspective to make sure that you aren't missing anything that's important in your idealistic viewpoint. Guess what? There's nothing wrong with an idealistic viewpoint. You just have to make sure that you've got all the things done. Don't be afraid of that, right? And this, again, check, check, triple check. Don't get over idealized. Make sure that you have all those I's dotted and T's crossed. It's Mercury retrograde. That's what we do. Listen, on Friday the 18th, we have Death and the Eight of Cups. So this is the day we talked about absolutely not making any impulsive changes, right? Self-control will save you big, long consequences. So again, I just want you to see the warning here when it comes to the way that you're going to take your actions or really witness what it is that is transformational for you. With the moon in Taurus squaring Pluto, yeah, if you focus inward, you can't go wrong. But if you really look externally to you and start making big changes, you might regret them. So just stay in the business of doing what it is you're doing, right? on Saturday, the 19th. We have the Six of Swords and the Ace of Swords, right? This is beautiful, talking about transitions and new ideas, delving into the why, right? This is the day we talked about really exercising that concept of pause, of waiting, of catching yourself and taking a breath in those stories, asking yourself, why? Why am I doing this? Why do I think this? Why is this my classic standard reaction? And then really witnessing how you can move away from that with this new idea, with this new awareness. Um, Again, we talked about real life change is available. Whatever feels a little uprising-y and turbulent can be smoothed out. It's simply a shift in your own ideology, right? You know how to do that. Yeah, you do. Listen, on Sunday, the 20th, we talked about this as that day of destiny and healing and transformation. The Five of Wands, this is funny, right? The Five of Wands is that card of being blocked, being uh, like it, it's like this, like no, no, no. And then the Nine of Cups is that, hey, I've got this energy. So we talked about this as the day of infinite potential, wish fulfillment, self-sufficiency, your contentment, your satisfaction. And we also identified it as a day where you really get to witness that you are your only limitation. So give this energy all you've got. Get rid of your own blockades, right? Because if you're um, strip tacking your tires, you're not going to get anywhere. This is you. You know exactly where you're going, who you are, and what you want. If you're in your way, no one can move you but you, right? What if? Well, what if? Absolutely, right? What if? What if we did all of these things? What if we turned inward and found all of those places where we're blocked? What if we really witnessed the clarity that's available to us? What if we really chose to change our perspective and make it a more healed, more healthy, more highest and best kind of energy? What if we did those things? What if we controlled our impulses? What if we did? What if we asked ourselves why and really answered the question and then enacted the behavior or shift in belief necessary to change? Oh, what if? I do not know how to say this word. Hi, Wraith? I don't know. Longing for home. Homesick for the stars. This is a pretty popular feeling, don't you think? I hear it a lot. Okay. Hi, Wraith. We'll see, whatever that actually speaks like, is a Welsh word. Well, no wonder I can't say it. That's difficult to translate, but it refers to a certain longing or homesickness, a yearning for a home or a place to which we cannot return. This unexplainable, unshakable longing for home is common in starseeds and old souls. Perhaps you've had it since birth. For some, it's a distant memory of a planet, a galaxy, a star system in a universe that their soul remembers or yearns to return to, a place they may have experienced more than Earth. For others, it's a longing for the unity of Source, a remembering of interconnected oneness. This yearning can lead some star seeds to travel searching all corners of the planet to find a physical place that feels more like home. For others, it can manifest in a need to find home in other people, in communities or relationships, a journey to find somewhere they truly belong or someone they truly belong to. If you resonate with this yearning for home but don't really know where home is, you're being invited to remember that your soul chose to be here on earth. You're being called to fully commit to embodying your life. Oh, really? You're being reassured that you didn't come here alone and that your soul consciously decided to experience what it's like to be a soul in a human body on this planet at this time. You're being called to anchor all of your presence, your personality, your soul, and your spirit here and now. Oh, really? Okay. To fully commit to living this life right now. To commit to putting 2 feet completely in. Yeah, we just said all those things. And whatever that is, I bet the way to say it is far more beautiful and um, lilting than I could ever make it. So, at any rate, what if you did? What if you committed to making this place your home, right? We talked about this with all these Venus transits and with Venus in Gemini right now. Um, yeah, you have the potential. There's a lot of beautiful energy this week. This is a little bit more low key week, and we're really being invited to move into this retrograde energy, right? This self focused energy, right? You are your own home, right? And if you can't create it in yourself, you can never find it out there, Dorothy, right? The red slippers, they're just a tool. They're just a channel of divination that tells you, oh, it was never any further than my own backyard, right? Yeah. What if? Be blessed, guys. I will see you next time.